Hey guys. So I just wanted to make a video. I'm back home and I just wanted to make a video to talk about something that I think that's very important because I briefly talked about it before I left for my meeting, and it was about self-love and taking care of your mental health, etc. So I wanted to expound upon that um a little bit more. Um I'll just, I mean, if you go down my YouTube, if you scroll down, you can see my depression journey and what I used to look like and what mental illness, how it took a toll on me, and the things I was talking about and the things that, you know, I was educating people on or trying to, like tell people about the effects of mental illness and how it comes about and what the signs and symptoms are and what I'm doing and what I was going through. And today, if you see me today, I'm a totally different person. I'm basically the Alex that I'm supposed to be, just, a happy, healthy, mentally, physically healthy, fully functioning, beautiful girl. And I remember though, before I got here, I went through storms, like 2017 was the beginning of a very hard time in my life. And a lot of persecution, a lot of um difficulties, a lot of challenges, a lot of problems, a lot of fighting with somebody I was dating or dealing with, friend problems, religion, my faith. Everything was just in shambles. But today I can say that everything is back in order and together by the grace of Jehovah God. um I just want to say, like, my biggest struggle in life was to accept love and to give love. And that was simply because growing up, I grew up in a loveless background. I come from a loveless background and a loveless upbringing. My mother was emotionally neglectful. I wasn't the kid that would go home and the parent would be like, "Oh, how, sweetheart, how was your day? Tell me how your day went." Or, "Well, what was the highlight of your day?" Or, I never had a mom that would say, "Good job for, doing this or doing that." "Oh, how do you feel today?" I never had a parent that checked on my feelings and or commended me for anything. And when you're a child, in your formative years, which is the years you form your self-esteem and you form your identity and yourself, um, your parents are responsible to form that for you because you're not born with self-esteem, nor are you born with self-love. Your parents have to, give that to you. They have to give you love in order for you to know it, learn it, and then love yourself. I didn't have that. So my mom, she was not present emotionally. She was like just stone. And like I said, I never had the parent that would ask me, "How was your day at school?" I never had the parent that commended me for anything I did good, never asked me how my day was or how my day at school went. It was just kind of like she took parenting as a job. Like, "Oh, just feed the child. You're there to provide, and that's it. And that's all that's required." And that's really whack, to grow up like that and to think like that. Maybe that's how her mom did her, but, because you have generational curses, they say, or generational habits or traits. They get it from their parents. Maybe my grandmother wasn't so affectionate, but all I know is that, I was emotionally neglected. And of course, I didn't have a father in my life. Um, and I don't talk to none of my parents, actually. My mother and I, we fell out for specific reasons. And my father, I don't deal with him either. So it would seem like I'm an orphan because I don't have a mom and a dad that I trust or talk to or anything like that. But what who I do have is Jehovah, and I have spiritual parents. Like where I go, my congregation, like I have spiritual moms, spiritual dads, people that support me, and people that encourage me and love me. And I just don't even think about my parents because I'm so covered and so loved. It's like they feel and they compensate for God. He provides and he compensates for what you don't have or didn't grow up with. So because of my childhood, I was a very angry, snappy child, and I pretty much I could not, accept compliments or accept love. I was an outcast as a child. People used to make fun of me for having big lips. I used to want to get a lip reduction because people would call me like names and stuff. So I was, picked on, and I was the outcast. And so growing up, with no mom to check on you, no dad present, and you're just all alone, stuck with your feelings of worthlessness, and you have nobody at home telling you you're beautiful or anything like that. I grew up with a very low self-esteem, and that's how a child will grow up if they don't have their parents there to give them that. So my biggest struggle was to, so when I started to, like, when I grew up and when I started to kind of like, become an adult, and I came in contact with people who knew how to love and who were nice and who were sweet to me, and it was so different from what I experienced as a child, I would try to like push it away, and I would try to run away from it, and I would try to sabotage it. Even my relationship with God, like, God's love is real, and love, period, since I didn't grow up with it, if I was given it by anybody, it was foreign to me, I would push it away, or I would try to find a way to run away from it, because it would feel uncomfortable, because all I've ever known is abandonment. I've only ever been abandoned. So for someone or anyone to take the time out to get to know me, be interested in me, love me, want to deal with me, it was kind of like, this is weird, and I like this, but I don't know how to receive it. I've never gotten it before, so I don't know how to receive it, nor do I know how to give it. So I'm going to just run from it, or I'm going to just do something stupid to just like mess it up. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like just a damaged person. Like, I was a really damaged girl. And what helped me to, well, what I can say is that for anybody out there who struggles with, like, coming from a very tough background, any type of abuse, any form of abuse, I was abused, as a child. And that's not something I too much want to delve into yet, but I've been through a lot, abuse, neglect, outcast in school, all of that. I was just a very unfortunate child. But I grew up to be very successful. I made something of myself. Although I came from a single parent household, and today at 27 years old, I finally like learn how to love myself. I finally know my worth. I finally don't let people treat me any kind of way. I finally, I have a standard now. Before, I used to let people like I talked to, or people who I was dating or whatever, treat me like whatever. I would accept any type of behavior because I felt like this is how I've always been treated. So, I mean, this is what I deserve, or, I'm not worth anything else because my own mother and father treated me like I was not important. So, but that's not true. Even if your mother or your father is not in your life, or even if your mother and your father abandons you, the Bible says Jehovah God, he'll take you in. You have somebody. Don't ever think you have nobody. Like, even if your mom or your dad is not in your life, if you have a close cousin, God, most importantly, or a close friend, or you always have somebody that you can go to. And if you really don't have nobody, just know that you have God. You'll never ever be alone with him, because honestly, if I didn't have him, I would have been took my life. I battle with depression, and that's something that this is the first time in my life that I felt great, and like I want to live, and I'm just so happy, and I'm fulfilled, and I'm full. I don't have any void. If it wasn't for, God, period, like I would have been in a casket already. Like, life was too rough, and, I just felt too low about myself. And I felt like if I didn't have some type of higher power or being to be there to, keep me sane, I would have went insane, and I would have just ended it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very thankful to Jehovah for keeping me alive, and, giving me love, even when it was hard to love me, because I was a very hard person to love. And because I didn't love myself. When you don't love yourself, you are a very difficult person to love, because you push people away, you give people problems, you're cursing them out, you overreact, you are easily offended because you're insecure, you're just basically taking out all your trauma on the person. And if the person basically is good and is showing you the love that you deserve, because you don't feel you deserve it, you push it away, and then you end up losing good people. But if those people truly love you, they'll know. Like, for example, like my spiritual mom, like the woman that is in my congregation that I regard as my mom, and her husband is as my dad, they know me. Like, they know my story. They know my mom, my dad, all of that. And I've done a lot of things and said a lot of things, wild things, that would make people just give up and be like, this girl is disrespectful, forget her. But they never gave up on me, because they knew where I came from, and they knew why I was the way that I was. Not everybody who's walking around punching walls, angry and snapping on you wants to be like that. Some people have trauma that you don't know about. Some people were sexually abused. Some people were bullied as kids. Some people were outcasted. Some people that grew up without a mom. Some people were left on a doorstep. Some people, grew up as a child of a mother that took drugs. I come from the spectrum of trauma. I didn't have, the luxury of having a life, with both parents, and, that home that, I'm going to give my kids one day. I grew up completely opposite, and it broke me, temporarily though, so it's just, the point of this is just like, if you are angry, or if you have some depression, or if you have thoughts that just come up and reoccur, traumatic thoughts, or anything that you feel like is hindering you from being your best self, how, I would recommend you go and do therapy and do counseling. You need somebody to talk to. If you have no one to talk to, you can go to a therapist, and they don't know you, unbiased, and you can just have an outlet. Because if you repress your feelings, or if you harbor if you push your feelings down, what I learned is you're gonna blow up, unexpected. And the person that you blow up on, it ain't gonna be about them. It's gonna be about that trauma, that sexual abuse that you never talked about, and now it's coming out at a certain time, and the person thinks you're mad at them, and it has nothing to do with them. So we have to, especially the Black community, we have to kind of deal with trauma. We are trauma. We come from trauma. We come from slavery, for God's sakes. And other races too. Jews went through, the Nazis, the Jews, a lot of people got trauma, generations of trauma. And I feel like, the biggest problem we have as a human race is addressing it. We would rather bury it than talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't bury it. Talk about it. Don't be ashamed. Go to that psychiatrist. Go to that mental health specialist. Go to that counselor. Talk to somebody you trust, your friend. You know what I'm saying? Because my life is literally, if I wrote a book about my life, and I had started to, but if I let y'all read my life story, y'all would be in a river, in an ocean of tears, because my life story is nothing that anybody would ever want to experience. But look at me today. I made it out of all of that. You feel me? I just came on here because I just felt really happy, and I'm in a really good place, and I wanted to just, anybody out there suffering internally from any injury, from any trauma, from any assault, from any problem, just know that you're not alone, because a lot of people come from backgrounds like that. A lot of people didn't have dads. A lot of people didn't have moms. And know you're not alone, and know that it's okay to go get help, and you should. You know what I'm saying? So you can be the best person. You don't want to repeat cycles, and you don't want to be the person that self-destructs, because I was self-destructing. You know what I'm saying? People, instead of going to therapy, they drink, they go have sex to, sex the pain away. They drink the pain away. They, smoke the pain away. They get tattoos to kind of feel, feel the pain and like take it out that way. People get tatted up, and they like the pain because it releases emotional pain. People don't know that, but people really go get tattoos to, to feel the pain so that they can release real emotional pain. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like to get tatted because of that. You know what I'm saying? But none of those things are gonna work. You have to face your demons. And so it's kind of like that song, Eminem song, Recover, what is it, Not Afraid. He was talking about facing his demons. He had a drug addiction problem. He hated his mom. He had trauma just like everybody else. He's a millionaire rapper, but he had to face his demons. That's Eminem. I love Eminem. And so just like us, you have to at some point face your demons, and whatever they may be, and look them in the mirror and say, look, you can't control my life anymore. You can't tell me I'm ugly, I'm worthless. You cannot keep reminding me of, if you're going to remind me of trauma, I'm going to deal with you accordingly. I'm not going to suppress you. I'm going to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? You got to face that. And, and when you learn to face your demons, you gain control of your life, and your trauma and your past no longer bothers you. To be honest, it took me years to let the past go, to let my horrible childhood go. But my childhood, I don't think about. I'm done with it. I'm happy. Like, I'm at a place where it's like, I'm a refined person. My heart, my wounds are healed and binded up. Jehovah healed my heart. And I could say that I can be in a healthy relationship now. I can be a good friend and be a healthy friend. I'm not toxic anymore. I'm not like a person that can't love. I could love now. I know how to love now, and I know how to give it as well. And so I've growth. So yeah, face your demons, and master them, and take charge of your life and be in control of it. It's never too late. No matter how old you are, you can always choose to be your best self, be your best self, and so yeah. It took a long time for me to get here. I could not accept love at all. I could not receive it or reciprocate it, but now I know how to love, and I'm just, I've always been a loving person, but my trauma hindered me from, giving that and receiving it. You know what I'm saying? But I can give it now, and I can receive it, and day by day, I just work on it. So, yeah. Peace, love, godliness, happiness, spirituality, mental health awareness, chasing away demons, controlling your life, taking charge of your life, therapy, counseling, psychiatry, mental health, all of that. I'm about all of it. That's what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? It's 2020. We in February, and this is your year to be the best you. Reach your ultimate potential. On that note, I'm out.